is Spooktober! I'm so excited to have a prompt of sorts to like be making videos again. Here's the thing. I've probably filmed like 4 or 5 videos for YouTube and then I just don't post them. I don't know why. I think it's just like once you've been away for so long, I'm sure other people who make videos on YouTube will know what I'm saying, but once you've been away for so long, it feels kind of weird to come back. I don't know. And so I didn't mean for it to go this long. I just, I don't know, haven't been making them, or I've made them but not posted them for some reason. It's really strange. So I think with this prompt of Vlogtober, aka Spooktober, I have like a project of sorts to post things to, and you guys love seeing New York and love Vlogmas so much, so I figured like autumn and the fall in New York will be amazing too. It's not going to be everyday videos. It's just such a time-intensive thing to make videos every single day. So what I'm planning on right now is Monday and Friday uploads. We'll see how that goes, but that's the schedule I would like to try for now. So yeah, today's gonna be a really fun day and we're gonna go to a concert tonight, a show, my first show post-pandemic, except for one that my friend invited me to last week, so that's gonna be really fun. And then this weekend I have some other fall stuff planned. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time. If this is your first time watching a video of mine, hello, welcome. My name is Jacqueline. I live in Brooklyn, New York City with my fiance, Recent, and 2 cats. And mostly I post about things like sewing and knitting and craft content and then like New York City vlogs and stuff like that. But yeah, anything that's like vlog related is just like whatever I get up to. So this isn't going to be sewing specific. It's not going to be knitting specific. It's just going to be kind of like a mix of everything, my everyday life and whatever I feel like talking about. Meetings are done. I'm gonna pull out my meal prep that I made at the beginning of this week. It's actually one of my favorite, like all-time favorite meal prepping, really just like recipes in general. It's a Skinny Taste recipe. I still love cooking from her blog, but it's the poulet à vinaigre. It's so good. I'll leave the link in the description box down below.
crispy one or the seared one?
I think the crispy one is the one that my friends normally get. We're at Tacoma right now.
Fried food good, so I don't think I'm gonna get
It's a taco place. So good.
I'm really sorry.
So there's a drastic change in plans.
Cataclysmic.
We're going to Tinashe. Just got off the subway. Here's the situation. I bought tickets for a Tinashe concert tonight and Saturday because she's like my top 5 favorite artists of all time. I love her music. If you haven't heard of her, R&B, love her. And Andrew's sister gave us the tickets to Joyce Manor. So we're like, well, I have the tickets on Saturday already for Tinashe, so maybe we could go to Joyce Manor. And then I found out that he was only like so-so on seeing Joyce Manor. He'd rather see Joyce Manor than Tinashe, but he's only so-so, and I'm like in love with her. So I made the executive decision, and Andrew was so kind to let us reroute our plans, so we're going to Tinashe instead.
Just as long as it's on the record that I am the best. So.
You are the best. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. So we're on our way to Terminal 5 right now, which is a venue on the west side of Manhattan, around like 57th and something. So that's where we're walking now. This line is insane.
Around the block.
Around the block. Like a whole block. It's crazy. I underestimated. It is the next day. Today's actually the first official day of October, October 1st. We are going...
Hey. Spooktober.
Spooktober, that's right. We're calling it Spooktober instead. We're going to get some coffee on this beautiful fall morning at our local coffee shop. And then we're gonna go to the grocery to pick up some supplies for a little cookout we're having tonight with everybody that lives in our building. So it's gonna be a lovely little afternoon. We're bringing a cocktail We're making a campfire cocktail, aka something that's like s'mores flavored, which you're not super enthused about.
I don't like overly sugary cocktails.
Yeah, I mean, me neither, honestly, because we're more like the old fashions type of people, but it just seems like the thing for this, unless we change our mind on what we bring. I don't know. And then also supplies for a potato salad. Yeah, that's what we're bringing. Anyway, we're going to the coffee shop now. It's gorgeous outside. Show you some stuff along the way.
Wow, how come nobody's ever called him Joe Rogan?
I've got the video evidence now, so now they know. Okay, there's a tree back there that has these like pods, seed pods that it forms, and I just pulled one off of it because I thought it would be satisfying to like pinch it and crush it, and it was intensely satisfying, but on the downside, or maybe the upside depending on how you see it.
Yeah, if you're me or
When I popped the pod, like literally it went straight into his mouth and he was just like and I could not have I mean, oh my god, I was dying laughing. Don't, no. Oh, it's so satisfying to step on. Guys, check out these flowers from my garden. I picked all of these a couple days ago, except for that one I picked like I don't know, maybe 4 days ago, and there's still plenty to spare. I'm just like in awe of how many flowers I can get in my tiny little garden, although I need more space. I've ordered way too many roses for what I actually have space for next year, and I'm unwilling to accept it right now. Hello again. I am in my craft room right now. It's an amazing space. Maybe at some point I'll do like a craft room tour during Vlogtober. If there's any interest in that, you can just let me know in the comments down below. But I'm currently thinking about knitting projects and what kind of things I want to knit right now. Currently I'm only knitting a pair of socks, and I have some other stuff that's like not finished, like my granny stripe crochet blanket, a shawl design, some other stuff I'm sure that's like floating around that I can't remember. I wear this sweater nonstop, by the way. I just got it from Ann Taylor. I've been like stalking this sweater because I love the colors, like the camel and the blue and the red orange. I'm like in love with it. I wear it nonstop. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm thinking about knitting projects right now, and I have two that I really want to knit, but they're both shawls. One of them is I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll put it on the screen. It's like Hildebeyer shawl. That is by Fiber Tales. She has a podcast, in case you didn't know, a knitting podcast. And then the other one is Shawlography, the new Stephen West mystery knit along. And I feel like what better way to kind of like get back into knitting than with a mystery knit along. I love Stephen West patterns. I have so many amazing single skeins of yarn in my stash. So this is a great way or opportunity to put them together to use them in one piece because I don't really have a lot of quantity in my stash. It's like single skeins of yarn, so this is a perfect opportunity to use that. And I'm thinking I'm leaning towards shawlography, even though I've been wanting to knit Hildebeer for such a long time. But Hildebeer is only, I want to say, like 1,000 to 1,300 yards of yarn, which is a decent size shawl, but I really love like the Schlanket shawls, like the really, really big ones. And shawlography is almost 2,000 yards of yarn, so it's going to be enormous. My What the Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry is my most used shawl. Unfortunately, it's been held hostage in my office since the beginning of the pandemic, so I have not seen that shawl in like a year and a half. Hopefully moths haven't gotten to it in the office. I have no idea because I haven't gone back, but I miss that shawl, and that shawl is like 2,000 yards as well. So I'm thinking I'll get more use out of the Stephen West shawlography, and I can shop my stash, whereas if I did Hildebeer, I'd have to go buy more yarn, which, you know, not a problem, but nice to use up what I have. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do shawlography. It takes 5 skeins of yarn. Are you guys knitting shawlography? I asked on Instagram. It seemed to be 25% yes, 75% no. I know a lot of people are not into the whole mystery knit along thing, which I totally get. Normally I'm not either, but I love almost all of the mystery knit alongs that Stephen West has done, so I feel like it's a safe bet for me. We'll see. And of course, like, I don't have to stick to those wild, wacky colors that he tends to do. I can shop my own stash and put my own spin on it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do shawlography. The mystery knit along starts on October 8th. Today is October 1st, so I have some time to kind of mull over my color choices and wind up my yarn and get all excited about it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because it's been such a long time since I've participated in any sort of knit along at all, much less like knitting in general, you know? So I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know in the description box if you're thinking about knitting it as well. I'd love to know. We can follow along with each other's progress, so it should be fun. So this is my craft cabinet right here. It is amazing. I'll open those up and maybe we can look at them together to see like some combos that I'm thinking of. So this is the majority of my yarn stash. I kind of group it by color. So this is light pinks and a little bit of some reds. This is more like pastels. I mean, it does have some pinks in it. It's kind of overflow from this one, but with a little more pastel leaning, whereas this one is almost like exclusively pink. These are my neutrals, and then these are more of like my moody colors or pops of some sort. So like a lot of dark greens, dark purples, that chartreusey color right there. So yeah, and then I have a box of self-striping yarn up there because I love self-striping yarn, and then a box of what I call like farm yarn, so anything that's more rustic, even though this is so soft. I really, really love rustic yarns. And then up there I have a couple bags of odds and ends of stuff that just didn't fit in here, or giveaways that I've won, or stuff like that that I just haven't put away yet in the plastic bags. I am hoping to dig through these beauties to find 5 skeins that will work together. Let's see what I can find. These are the colors I've currently pulled out of the stash right now. I'm really excited about where this is going. Just kind of need to refine it, go back and pick some out. I'll give you guys a little tip. If you have a hard time combining colors like this with all these single skeins, my advice is to start with a speckled skein, like a lightly speckled, like this one or this one or this one. So we'll take like this one right here, for example. See how it has kind of like those gold speckles, there's some green speckles, there's even some purple. So start with your speckled skein and then go to your stash and look for colors that are in the speckles of the more speckled skein. Another example, this one, this gorgeous skein from La Bien-Aimée. Look at all these pastel speckles in it. So for example, this blue right here would look amazing with it. a lighter pink, so like this kind of mauvey pink right here would look really amazing with it. A like beigey tone would look really good with it. It also has some kind of darker purples. I really don't have a lot of dark purple in here, so that's kind of a hole in my stash, but like this kind of color right here. So I love this skein right here. I'm considering putting it in my shawlography palette, but we shall see. Okay, I've narrowed down to these. So from here, I need to pick 5. I'm having a hard time coming up with my color combos. I love all of these so much. This kind of like green chartreuse, a little bit of mauve, some kind of lighter pink. I love this like pop right here. All right, let's start building. Okay, I am loving this combination. This skein of Sweet Sparrow yarns is really getting blown out, but I think this is a gorgeous combination and kind of has like a fall but pastel feel to it, which I really like. Love this fall earth tones palette and this chartreusey pop with it. Gorgeous. It's very similar though to my Exploration Station shawl, which I'm not sure is like a bad thing, but I just really like this color palette clearly. Okay, this is amazing, but I need to go buy a skein of hot pink yarn. This is just some spare mohair that I had in stash to kind of make this entire palette work, but the hot pink could be cool. This would be a very loud, very Stephen West colors kind of palette. Extremely muted and low contrast, but maybe that's a good thing. Decisions. I also have this really special skein of Ocean by the Sea mohair that I could hold double with like the 2 pink ones. That could be really cool. Ooh, I don't know, I'm really starting to lean toward this one. I really like that. Or this is quite lovely. It's kind of pinks and grays, like grayish. It's more like a taupe, like brownie grays color. That lovely pink, this cat sandwich fibers, some wool barn. I am loving this. However, as you can see, I only have a mini skein of this incredible yarn right here, which I don't know what it is. It was given to me by a friend in an advent calendar swap, and we like renamed the colorways, but I think Stacy of Stress Knits has a colorway that's quite similar to this called like Zinnia, I want to say. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to like go look at her shop to see what she has in stock. Narrowed it down to 2 palettes. This is the first one, or this is the second one. I feel like I'm leaning toward this one. I think it's more fun colors, so I'll just have more of a fun time knitting it since they're so bright. But I do love how like muted and pretty this combination is. Okay, so we're headed down to the backyard for our little cookout. We're a little delicate this morning.
Mexico.
We're looking through Grubhub
Terrace.
for breakfast. Well, we've migrated to the couch now, so
It had to be done.
we're making progress.
The correct
We have fortified ourselves with bacon and eggs and a nap. So We're outside now, going to the garden, and there's a block party right now. Block parties are a New York institution. Do they get like city permission to do it, to like close them?
Block off the street.
That's what I thought. So I guess you just get city permission to close the street, and then you have a party with the whole block. Here's the garden in all of its glory. Last call. We're painting our living room right now, and we've been having these samples taped up for like a week to pick so we could see them in different lights, and we've kind of narrowed them down to our final choices to get samples to see.
Over olive branch?
I think olive branch is too light. I think when we get it in there, it's gonna look like pea greeny. Okay. On a large space, but it's up to you. This is like your pick, so I feel like you should get whichever ones you want. So either get both of them, or
just go alligator, and then if we like the green but it's too dark, we'll just move up. And then definitely the Bar Harbor beige, which I feel is very similar to what it was painted when we first moved in. But tell me that. So it's been a long time since I've done any sort of like garden tour, but there used to be a tree here that we took down so I could have more gardening space. It was also shading out like the other beds so much, so without it I can actually like grow a lot more things now because of the sunlight, which is amazing. But I turned this area into like an English cottage style garden, and then this remained mostly the same, like it was a lot of veg, and then in late summer I transitioned it into like the dahlia space, tomatoes growing like crazy over there. So let's take a look. I planted so many roses this year. I planted like 9 maybe, but they are doing so well. Most of them are. This is a Desdemona rose. I put 3 of similar color in the front, and then the idea is that they'll kind of grow together to be like one bush. And then I also have another one right here that is a climbing rose. This is all from one gardening season. It was planted right there, and it's at the top of the arch, which is insane. It's so beautiful. This one's called Woolerton Old Hall. It's got more of a myrrh fragrance, which isn't really my thing, but the flowers are just so gorgeous. I couldn't not get it. And it's so sunny out, so it's hard to see the color nuance right now, but it's kind of more of like an apricot cream color. Super beautiful. And then the ones in the front here are all kind of white roses. This one right here is called Windermere. These have a lot of buds. They're about to start popping any day now. Desdemona right here, and then one called Ambridge in the front, which was doing so well until we went on vacation. And then I came back and somebody had put a big pot right here. I don't know who did it, but I think it like kept it from getting sunlight to the base somehow. And so when I came back, the whole thing was like defoliated from the bottom. It was so strange. I don't know what happened. It was doing so well. So I hope, roses are super resilient, so I'm hoping that next year it will revive itself, because this was one of my best ones because it's in the best spot, like right in the front. The fronts of the beds are where the most sunlight comes through. So I hope that it recovers, but it has a lot of buds, so it's doing okay. It's just kind of ugly because there's no foliage on the bottom. bush here. I just clipped a bunch of these for in the house, but this is Abraham Darby. This rose is insanely beautiful. The blooms kind of flop over like that for the first few years, but once it has, I don't know, like 3 years under its belt, it'll start standing more upright. But I just can't believe all this growth for one season with this rose. Here's one that's about to go over. Isn't it just so gorgeous? The Floret Bee's Choice Dahlia seedlings. This was one of the most fun plants in the garden this year. You have no clue what they're going to look like because dahlias from seed are all random. You can only know what it's going to look like if you have the tuber from the mother stalk that's been divided year after year. So the seeds are always a surprise. And this was a surprise seedling, and I just think it is so fun. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. I will absolutely be saving that one for next year. Unfortunately, it was in kind of a not prime location because behind the tomatoes here, that's the front of the garden right over there, behind the tomatoes, they just don't get a lot of sunlight. So you can see it's not really thriving because there's not very much sun back here. But yeah, isn't it just so beautiful? Prime spot next year for sure. So we have just been lounging on the garden deck, but I think now we're gonna go over to the park, to Prospect Park, and get a blanket and lounge in the park. It is just such a gorgeous day outside right now. It has to be spent outside. But it's been nice being here, like listening to the block party. It's cute, I think. To Prospect Park. It's beautiful out here. Normally we like to sit over by the boathouse area because it's just really pretty, but we take a lot of walks in Prospect Park and discovered this new location that's close to a lake over there. Is that in focus? Yeah, like a little lake or a pond, and there's not as many people over here compared to the boathouse, so it's nice. I mean, there's still like people, don't get me wrong, but it feels more private over here, which is nice. So Andrew brought his painting supplies. He's been very inspired by Van Gogh lately, and yeah, he's gonna paint the scene in front of us. I'll show it to you. Isn't that gorgeous? The tree and the lake and the reeds, so nice. Something active rather than reading my book, so I might knit the sock instead.
party's still going strong. We're hungry now, so we're making some dinner. Some burgers, asparagus. What else? Oh, and the leftover potato salad from last night. We thought about going to Nighthawk Cinema to see the horror movie The Candyman. I've been wanting to see that one. I think it looks really good. The preview looks really scary, and it's only made with literally cut sheets of paper, like paper cutouts and lights, and the trailer I thought was scary, but just not in the mood right now. I think we're gonna make dinner here, snuggle up, and watch some movies in the living room. We just got back from some home improvement stores because I wanted to go look at the garden centers and see what kind of plants they had right now. And I came away with 2 houseplants. Supposedly this is a houseplant. I've never seen an indoor rose before, but obviously I could not resist getting it because I'm just so obsessed with roses these days. And it says it's an indoor-outdoor, requires a lot of sunlight, I'm sure. So we have this south-facing room, so maybe it will thrive in here. I don't know, we'll see. So I don't have high hopes for it, but it was too cool to not pass up, so I got that. And then, look at this begonia. I think it's a begonia. Hold on. Yes, just looked at the tag, and it is a begonia. And look at these speckly leaves. They're so cool. I couldn't say no to it. It's so weird and so neat. So I picked this one up as well. And then the last thing I got are a bunch of spring bulbs. I have already ordered quite a few daffodils and tulips online earlier in the season, so I only got 1 bag of each of these that I saw, these daffodil repellette, which I think I even ordered some of those already, but just to have some more. And then foxtrot tulips, I didn't order those, and I just thought, you know, for 10 bucks, that's a great little deal for that. And then I did not purchase any of my alliums yet though, because I know I got them from box stores last year and I loved the variety that I had. Unfortunately, they had none of that same variety at both stores that I checked, so I got a variety of other ones to try. Last year I had one called Blue Persian and it was so beautiful, so I wanted to try to find the same ones, but this year I got Purple Sensation, which is like the quintessential traditional allium, and then this one called Gigantium, which I'm assuming is going to be enormous. And let's see, what else? Christophine. This one's like a little more sparse and it looks a little more pink than the other ones. Let's see, a Gladiator, which I'm guessing again is another large one like the Gigantium. I love purple flowering schemes. I've kind of just discovered that last year. I love the cottage garden, English cottage garden style of gardening, and it's a lot of purple, and it's just such a great, beautiful color scheme. My favorite. I love the garden from like May to June because it's just like so much purple in there.